Hi, Jim Robinson, ProfitTrading.com. We're going to take a look at some weekly charts. This is December Cocoa Weekly with the 10-10 high-low bands, and this is the 14-week directional movement indicator. Now, with today's breakout to new highs in gold, I think cocoa and, well, let's just start with cocoa. I think cocoa's going to head sharply higher from here, and so in my newsletter, I'm going to be looking to buy. I think I'll have a buy signal tonight in cocoa. The 10-10 bands are up. The market's closed above the bands. And just if you look at the angle of the bands, that's bullish. Now on the 14-week directional movement, purple is the plus directional movement. Green is the minus directional movement. Red is the ADX. When purple is above green, that means the market's in an uptrend. And when the ADX is rising, that means the market is trending. So this is a very bullish picture for cocoa on the weekly chart. It looks like there's a lot more upside left. We're just going to buzz through some real quick here. Try to get as many as I can in here. We'll look at coffee. Okay, again, with today's breakout to the upside in gold, I'm extremely bullish coffee. And the 10-10 bands, it looks like coffee made a base here. Then coffee moved above the bands here, which means the trend is probably turned up. Now coffee did go below the bands here on the weekly time frame. This is a weekly chart again, but I found whenever the market's made a base and it makes that first move above the bands and then that first move below the bands, you just gotta kind of say that's a test of the low. So basically when we get this move, I'm just staying bullish coffee unless something would really happen down here to change my mind. So basically here we're bullish coffee and nothing has really happened to change our mind. The 10-10 bands are up, and basically coffee looks like it could be forming a triangle here on the weekly chart. Now on the directional movement, again, when the purple is above the green, that's bullish. The ADX line is at a low reading right now, which just means that the market action has been kind of sideways. A low ADX reading usually precedes a big market move, so this is actually bullish. And basically, if we get a buy signal in coffee, we're going to go for that too. And let's take a look at sugar. Sugar is just in a runaway to the upside, and I've been looking at call options for sugar, and they're just so expensive right now. It's tough. Sugar might be hard to get into here, but I may have a buy signal in sugar here. We did have a buy signal last week, but it never got filled, and sugar came down and traded lower. So I did try to go long sugar last week in the premium newsletter, but it corrected a few days. So right now we're just out sugar. But again, if you look at the angle of the bands, and if you look at the bars above the bands, and that says the market's heading higher, it puts the odds with higher prices on weekly sugar March. And the directional movement indicator is very bullish. The farther the purple and the green move apart, the more bullish the market is, and you can see that they've moved apart quite sharply here. And when the ADX line, the higher the reading, the more bullish the market, and this is above the 40 reading here on the ADX, and above 40 is considered a strong trend. Okay, here's what I think is going on in crude. We'll look at December weekly crude oil. Then I'm going to wrap this one up and we'll do another one. I'll do another one. We'll look at another one. Whatever you want to call it. Anyway, okay, coffee, basically, or crude oil, crude oil. Basically, this looks like it could be a classic cup with handle pattern, and any breakout above these highs is going to be extremely bullish for crude. Now we had some bars above the bands. That means the trend is up on the weekly time frame. No bars have gone below the band since then. All the bars that have come to this lower band have found support. So that's just extremely bullish for crude. And basically the 10-10 bands say higher prices ahead for crude. Now again, like I've mentioned, some of these markets we've been looking for big bull moves in, and they've been fairly choppy. And that's what it shows here on the 14-week directional movement for crude, but when this market takes off to the upside, this will really, you know, the ADX will start moving up and it'll show the trend. Again, we got a low ADX reading here on the weekly time frame, and that just shows that the market has been moving sideways. And I've been expecting the breakout to be to the upside, but these markets have corrected a little bit here. But I think, again, with today's breakout to new highs in gold, I think all systems are go for the upside for these commodities. So we're going to be looking to buy crude. I would be looking to buy any call options you can. The problem with call options right now on cocoa, coffee, sugar, crude, cotton, they're going to be kind of expensive. So it's a tough one, you know, but we can go farther out and get lower price calls. And if the markets move like we're expecting them to, the calls should still become profitable just because the market action will be so strongly to the upside. So let's wrap this one up, and I'll see if I can do a few more markets. And like I always say, thanks for listening to my video, and I really do greatly appreciate it.